Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel, me 9118. A wee bit of an experiment, and it's the first time I'm going to be doing one of these, and hopefully it goes well. The production value, as time goes on, will hopefully go up. But this is the first ever edition of the Celtic, the Thunder, Celtic fan podcast, if you like, we'll call it that. I'm joined by a few of my pals. We're going to discuss a few things. We'll try and keep it shortish. We've discussed this. Try and keep it around the half-hour kind of mark to see how it goes. So I may as well introduce everybody one at a time very quickly. All you need to do is give a wee hello or something. So first off, I've got Callum. Hello, Callum.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Then we've also got Paul, who's been in podcasts before. Hello, Paul.
Hello.
And we've got two new, well, they've been in a stream before, but that's about it. We've got David.
Alright.
And we've got Kieran. Who's trying to contain his laughter in the background there. How lovely. The nerves are, look, just treat it as if you're a normal person in a normal show. This is your transition into a celebrity. Anyway.
Good job.
Right. I put out a tweet earlier and I asked what did people want to talk about, and I feel like it's only proper to start with the first thing because this is what blew up on Twitter, and this is blowing up again today. It went quiet for a while, but the Patrick Roberts saga is kicking back up again. The question is he actually going to sign? We've seen all this talk with Nice, we've seen the talk coming back to Celtic. I don't know how to start with. Kieran, do you see Patrick Roberts actually coming back to Celtic?
I think it's the case that I would love to see him come back to Celtic, but the reality is he's probably got bigger things in mind.
See, the only thing, when you say he's got bigger things in mind, right, the main talk, the main competition for us at the current minute seems to be a loan deal with Nice. Now, I'm putting myself into probably my own bias set of shoes here, right? But if you're looking at a loan deal with Nice, or a permanent deal to come back to somewhere where he knows he's going to play well, he knows every player around him, he knows he's got a good coach, good manager, surely to Christ, he would be coming back to us.
I mean, I'd like to think that, but see when you think about it though, like, he's got the chance to play in a new league, French league. Nice are in they're in the same round as us for the Champions League playoffs, so I mean,
I see that.
He's got every chance at playing in Europe next season, and I think, did they not just sign Wesley Sneijder as well?
They signed Wesley Sneijder. I can see the appealing side of things, but at the same time, do you not think it would be a bother to him, like, if he had to go, he had to learn a whole new language, fit in with a new whole system and all the rest of it, when he can just take an easier route to somewhere where he's going to be in the set. David, do you see Patrick Roberts coming back? That's the question.
Well, I'd like him to, but then it's not about taking the easiest route. Because he went back to Man City to challenge himself, so maybe
I think
this is a challenge he would like to take as well.
But do you know, feel free to jump in at any point, by the way, Paul, Callum, anybody else, feel free to just jump in if you've got something to rebuttal. But, like, do you know, at the same time, though, think that was a wake-up call for him? Because it turns out, right, well, we don't know yet, you can't take it as official, but Pep Guardiola came out, and Pep Guardiola, even a page or whatever, sources are coming out saying Pep Guardiola's told me has no future, and he's getting an exodus of young players, he's just getting rid of a lot of young players, and Patrick Roberts is one of them. So, do you think... Oh, there you go.
Patrick Roberts is, everybody in Celtic pure loves him, right? But then, I don't think anybody actually expected him to get into the Man City team in the first place.
I know,
that's amazing.
That's what I said. That's what I was saying. Like, you're going there and you've got to compete with who? They've just signed Bernardo Silva. They've got Sterling there. They've got Power's got there. They've got Sane. They've got all these players. He was never going to get in. But I don't know. I feel like we need to stop. There's one thing though I feel like it's happening there. Twitter is we're just getting our hopes too high for it happening. It died down a wee bit, but now it's happening again. And
I think you need to put back. He's got the choice of being the big fish in the small pond coming up to the Scottish League game, which he's familiar with. Like, you know, he likes playing here with Celtic. He knows the fans love him. But I mean, as you said, if you think about it, Nice aren't really some wee diddy club anymore, are they? Because
last
they had a really good season
last
last year.
Had a really good
They've
deal.
got every chance of getting through the Champions League. Even if they don't, I can see them doing fairly well in the Europa League. I mean, I feel as though he's good enough that he could maybe break into that Nice team.
I do see him breaking in there.
It's up to him, because as David said, he does want to chat.
See the only thing I'm thinking.
Even though it's... On you go.
Keep going.
Right. As much as I'd love him to come back to Celtic, if you think about it in terms of the player, who will we hold back his career?
I know.
I mean,
that's true.
He's bigger. He's going to be bigger than Celtic.
Oh,
in the
future.
future.
It's like the same. It's like the same as
Who will
Dembele.
we to stop his progress? Like, if he's getting regular game time in the French league, he's more likely got to develop better than he would in the Scottish league. And if you think about it in terms of the player, the best thing for him to do might not be to come to Celtic, but
Well,
then you have to take in other factors.
Think about it. See if he does come to Celtic and in the next few years plays really well, there is a very high chance that a club in England will see and will go for a lot.
It's a financially beneficial deal, I'd say, because the fact that the number being thrown about is 6.8 million, rising £8 million. The fact he's English alone, and if he plays to the same standard as he has the last couple of years, surely we're talking upwards, maybe at least 10, 15 million pound we're going to get offered for him to leave us again in the near future.
Easily.
Easily.
See if Celtic buy him for it under 15 million, they'll need to make profit considering Man City bought him for, what was it, 16 million in the first place?
No, I think
if he goes,
I think that's quite an inflated figure though, because they'll have definitely paid a lot less than what the papers are reporting.
I know,
Because that 12 million that it's reported as add-ons and that, and the add-ons are never going to get hanged on, are they?
Because there would have been stuff like appearances, goals, and he's had absolutely no chance. So it might be a lot less than what we're actually thinking. Kim, were you going to actually say something before I went on about like how the finances?
Well, if you think about it, but Celtic sign players that are not known at all, and then sell them to the Premier League. In this case, we would be signing somebody for a decent amount of money for the Premier League. And if he played well for a few seasons, would he get that big move to a big club? If he's not getting the chance to know.
I see. I mean,
granted, he will be a few years older.
When you put it like that, it's kind of it resembles the whole situation with Chris Sutton. For me,
it never really happens. But like Chris Sutton was a lot nearer the end of his career.
He was out.
Patrick Roberts just starting off. I mean, but Celtic have no they've sold players to big teams in the Premier League, but they've never been bought for the Premier League and then sold back. So I think that would need to be like the first to account, because in reality, if he was to play well for Celtic, Man City would be coming back in for him.
I think he's when you leave a club like Man City, I think that's when especially so young, I don't see him ever going back there. I don't even see him maybe even getting. Do you think he would ever actually get back to that calibre like a team, Man City, Man United?
No, because like if he's getting offered teams like Southampton, then if he moves to Celtic, it's the next logical step after Celtic, Southampton. Paul, even though it seems like a sideward step.
Paul, were you going to say something?
It would depend how well he played. I mean, if he played well enough, like a Wanyama, who can go to something, then move on to a bigger team.
European, because Southampton have been thrown about as well. Like if it comes to a decision between Southampton and even Celtic, because I heard Southampton were interested and it was a choice between them. Like at that point, then I think it would be a lot more tricky, because a loan deal to Nice would be beneficial for him, but then like it's a completely different situation getting an actual permanent move to Southampton. Completely different. Cal, you've been quiet in the matter. Before we move on, are we to go any further? Do you want to add anything about the Patrick Roberts situation?
I just think he'll come back.
We'll end the whole Patrick Roberts thing on. Like, do you think he'll actually? Paul, do you see him coming back? Yes or no?
Very possibly, yes.
Yes, Cal, you say no, David.
But when you put the factors out, I could see him coming back, but I wouldn't get my hopes up.
Kieran, do you say yes or no?
There's every chance that he could come back to Celtic, but I mean, if I was him, I'd probably be thinking for bigger things. But I mean, like, I'd say no.
No. I think it really depends as well on how the next 24 hours go, because Nice have said they want a response by, what is it, the night? Because I've got to.
But that's the thing as well, though, because Celtic have apparently, this is just Facebook talk as well, which is basically.
So you have to be careful with Facebook stuff, like, because it's so misleading. But
apparently Celtic have said they're not going to sign them day before they're standing again, which is quite worrying, because if Patrick Roberts has got this sort of time frame, which he's allowed to move to Nice and that, and Celtic isn't an option on the table at the time he's ready to move, then it's more likely Celtic are going to miss it.
Because
I'd love to see it happen, but.
Fuck the exams, everybody will be waiting tomorrow to see if he goes to Nice.
I know, we're sitting there crossing our fingers waiting. If I was to give my final pick, I think I've got hope. I think I can see him come back, but as David said, I'm not going to get my hopes up about it.
See, I do think it would be a smart move.
It really comes down to the final. Like, we don't know the finalised offers he's getting here. Like, we know Nice and Southampton are interested, but what's actual final is the question.
I said before, do you not think, like, as much as we'd love him to come back, I feel that's, as much as I'd say, it's kind of selfish for your point of view.
Aye.
Because We really are. Like, we could, like, obviously it's up to him in the end, but I mean, it's kind of selfish.
I know.
See,
I
just
hope as
saying,
well.
Better offers.
On you go, David.
see when you look at this season, obviously Celtic had an amazing season, right? Armstrong and Dembele have had so much like people have been saying they're definitely going to go like Chelsea for Dembele, right? But see if Patrick Roberts is only 20, see if he did had like 3 good seasons.
I think Free's
There's
pushing it.
so
I
much
say about
chance.
2. One or 2 probably. I don't know. Well, we'll see.
I know, but I mean, like, he's only 20. No doubt a lot of clubs would rather wait till he maybe has a few more years, like,
It's in his
experience
prime
to go in. But, like, if he comes, plays a few seasons in the Champions League, does well, impresses, maybe no Man City, but I could definitely see somebody coming in for the Premier League with decent money.
Paul, were you going
he'll be
to?
a few years older as well.
Paul, were you going to give a quick final input a minute ago?
I mean, I'm just not. David says don't get your hopes up. I'm not gonna, but I can see it happen. To be honest,
that's one thing. What Kieran was saying, like we're being kind of selfish. One thing I hope doesn't happen is that Twitter and that abuse him. Like we just go give all this unnecessary abuse for not coming back. I hope that doesn't happen because you got to understand he's looking out for the best of his career.
No matter what it is, I hope people support him. I hope those sorts of lassies don't go off on that.
That's probably that'll be the main thing.
Patrick Roberts. See if he was to go to Nice. Imagine Celtic go to Nice in the Champions League or Europa League or whatever.
The fire.
Plus, we are forgetting the most important factor.
What's that?
Nice don't have Kieran Tierney.
I know. Well, that's a true point. Very true point. So that's it.
Add that factor.
We'll take so the Patrick Roberts saga thing, whatever you want. We'll move on for that. We'll see how it goes. I think the next week we'll really get a better idea, and who knows if we go into a second episode of this, we'll touch on it a bit more. Maybe who knows. Right. Anyway, moving on to the second thing, the Champions League draw. Astana has been getting to us. Callum, how you feeling going into Astana? What do you think's going to happen? You confident? You nervous?
Well, see, in the home leg, we've got to win we've got to win like 3-0 or something like that to even just to feel comfortable going away, because when we go away I don't see us winning the away tie. I definitely don't see us winning the away tie.
When you say to feel comfortable, there's one thing that I learnt from last year, and Kieran, David, they'll tell you, I'm always overly confident, right? But last year, you know, we're up 3-0 at half time. Me and David are sitting here singing, we're having a party in the Champions League. Bang, they make it 3-2, but we go up, right, 5-2, we win. And at that point, you're thinking 5-2, surely we're through, but I mean,
that
we're that. Ball hell. Ball hell. Craig Gordon had to save a penalty.
Craig Gordon goes in the Champions League.
So
that's not really like recognised as much. Like if you think about it, he's never really seen as the hero.
I know. I feel like he gets a lot of stick. People forget shit like that.
Because of what happens with
he's some goalkeeper, but he isn't a dodgy bastard.
Aye, but only a.
Craig
There you go.
He's a good goalkeeper, but he has his fair few moments.
Dodgy. I love him. I always support him on the channel, but
see, like the few weeks he traded football for like UFC and started like, kicking people.
He had
about 4 red card offences last year.
Oh, I know.
Red card offences and 4 fucking assault offences.
But like, it's in this playoff round, I don't think there's any point where it's actually comfortable. Unless we go up, we get a massive comfortable result, and then we end up taking like a 2-0 lead away from home. Then at that point it's comfortable. But Astana should. I mean, we narrowly beat them last year. Kieran, you're usually quite, you're quite talkative and stuff like that. Do you think Astana are going to be just as dangerous? Do you confident? What's the Callum gave us? What are you thinking about it?
See, obviously, like when it comes to Celtic in the Champions League qualifiers, even though the season we just came off it's impossible to be confident. Like I'm never confident with Celtic in the qualifiers because I've been let down so many times before. But you'd think coming off a season like that, fair enough, we can beat anybody, but it's Celtic at the end of the day.
That's why. You can keep going.
I mean, with Astana, we did beat them last year. At the same time, we did scrape past them, but something I seen somebody say it, and it was we drew 1 each with them away from home with Owen O'Connell and Effie Ambrose as the back two. I can't remember if that was the actual back two, but even at that, like Celtic are a lot better this year, and you would hope that we could get past them comfortably. But what you need to is Callum.
As what?
But we also need a good performance because
you can't a wee bit, but we'll just keep going.
We beat who was Beersheba 5-2
Beersheba 5-2.
Aye. And and then we went out there and got beat 2-0, and everybody was absolutely shitting themselves. So I think if we get a big win at home but without conceding, I'll be confident for the second leg. But at this rate, I really don't.
See,
I do believe we can get past them, but confidence is not the word.
See, that's one thing I'm certainly guilty of. See what you were saying, like, I think heading into this set of qualifiers, and I don't think I'm the only one, I don't know if any of you are the same, but there's plenty of other people who took the same mindset as me. Heading into the qualifiers after back of an invincible treble winning season, I was saying, look, we should be breezing through, no bother, nobody here should be able to touch us after that. But after Rosenborg, not so much Linfield, but after Rosenborg, and now heading into a game where I'm a lot more nervous, it's really been a wake-up call to show that, like Kieran said, at Celtic, you know, we can't... They let us down before, they can let us down easily again. It's like,
you've got to keep in mind, like, Astana just put a leg of Warsaw. Like,
and they're not a shite
really
team at
good
all.
team.
That's a good team. Like, that's a team, like, we look at, what is it, we got beat 6-1 after them. Like,
we're saying we've improved, but they've obviously
Times change.
got a lot better.
Aye, and it's like as well, like, going into that Rosenborg game, they struggled to put away Dundalk, and that was leaving the image that we should go and beat them. And now we're playing a team who... What was the actual aggregate score against Legia Warsaw then, you know?
3-2,
3-2.
Wait, I thought you're done with Celtic.
Oh, no.
3-1.
20 man.
They lost 1-0.
Aye, but they're beating Legia Warsaw 3-1, and Rosenborg are struggling to beat Dundalk, so it's going to be an incredibly nail-biting probably game to say the least.
I think at least for this game, but we've got a few games under our belt going into it now, instead of just having 2 games against Linfield.
And that's where the Hearts game comes into consideration. Like, that acts as some sort of morale, confidence booster, if you like, I would say.
See, the only thing is like, obviously, you're always going to be confident, you always think your team's going to win, right? But see, like, obviously we just went invincible, right? It was some season, but see when people kind of go into games, like Rosenborg, like, I'm using you, Ryan, you said 4-1 we were going to beat them.
Exactly.
I think people forget that these teams on the Ross County, like, you know, nothing against Ross County.
Disrespect to Ross County.
Aye, but I mean, like, people still need to remember, like, Rosenborg and Astana are still good teams.
Aye, because
When
it's
you
like...
think about it, but like people think Celtic are better. Like all these teams we're facing are Celtic's level, right? No Linfield, right? But see in the later rounds, every team we face is capable of beating us.
Aye.
Like, how so
Just
everybody
depends
was
on
saying, like, see before, like, obviously Astana put them out, like, Legia Warsaw, we wouldn't want them.
Aye.
But Astana just put them out. And
It's like-
people like, oh yeah, it's Astana.
Aye, there's like one thing that I always think about when playing these sorts of games. Is like, we always go on about, like, in Champions League games we'll always go, the fans will make a difference, the fans will want it, the fans will change everything. But we not, like, I don't think we ever take into consideration that teams on our level have the exact same kind of hanging out on their away legs. We never, like, I never hear anybody talking about how their fans is going to change their away leg for us. I never hear it.
See, the only thing, obviously our fans are brilliant, right? And see, apart from, it's just because we get compared to, like, English fans, and they're shocking. Like, it's awful. But, like, see when you watch, see even the Rosenborg game, you could hear their fans sing.
Oh,
like,
the Rosenborg
very
are
loud.
quite, they're quite big.
See,
They've
at
got
Celtic Park, there's like even when the Green Brigade are there, there's even in Champions League games last year, there was like always like the same thing where there would be periods where it would be absolutely silent. Like,
Gladbach was awful. The atmosphere of that game.
I know.
But obviously.
No, but again, I think that's a reflection of the team playing badly, and it really shouldn't be. But like, it's the way it happens. Because
Paul, how confident are you in the Astana?
I think we'll go through. We should go through, but like, it's just worrying about the away leg because I mean they scored 2 goals against us all together last year. I mean, we've got the goal scorers to score more than them, but it's just worrying going into the away leg.
See,
especially that being the second game.
The one thing what do you think? Like, personally, would you be? I don't know how annoyed would you be if we don't get to the Champions League?
Well, see, I was actually just gonna say, see, obviously you're gonna be annoyed if you don't get through. We should be getting through. We are like a Champions League team, but I hope fans don't like kind of not turn their back, but like get pure behind me just because they've no lost a game in ages, like as in like domestically and that. But the minute it gets tough, people just kind of turn their back.
I feel like
I don't want to repeat it like a few years ago where like the attendances at Europa League group stage games say Celtic end up now are like a lot worse than they would have been for Champions League. I mean, it's not going to be the same extent. I don't remember years ago it was like Bolton Stone was open and Tapstone was shut. That's embarrassing.
That was embarrassing.
I don't think it would ever get like as bad, but I just hope.
I know, it wouldn't be that bad.
I think like everybody thinks Celtic's good, right? But obviously Celtic fans, but I think some people they like rip it a wee bit when they think Celtic. Like, for instance, see the Celtic in England argument. See the people who genuinely think Celtic could win the league or finish top 4.
That's a very small minority.
In the first season, I know, but
that's a subject in its own. But because like if you think about it, like if Celtic were to go into the English Premier League with the team that we've got now, we wouldn't have a chance. I always
say, never a million years. I always say, at best mid-table. At best, it would definitely be in that kind of. It definitely be in that kind of region of Stoke and that. But we'll come on to that in like a different.
It would be money that takes us.
It definitely come on to that in like a different probably podcast, because that is something that obviously people want to hear talk about. But the whole kind of thing. If we do go into the Europa League, personally, I'm not going to be massively disheartened. Of course, I'll feel disappointment in some way, but at the same time, we go into Europa League, and it's just at that point, you know it. You've definitely proceeded. We've got to get through the group. If we go into Europa League, you've got to get through the group.
If Celtic were to go into Europa League, then I would have a lot higher standards of what I'd expect for Celtic. I'd expect Celtic to be pushing further. Like, if we went into Champions League this year, people are saying, we should be pushing for the last 16. I think that's still out of your reach, but I think if Celtic were to make it Champions League this year, what I'd want and expect is third place in the group. And when I say I'd run in the Europa League, I mean, like, at least get past the 32. Or the 32.
It just depends, doesn't it, on the group you get, because see the amount of groups, like Celtic always get quite hard groups in the Champions League. Like, it is always, but see if we did get a bit of luck and we got last 16, I still don't know if I would rather get last 16 or else get third and then maybe go on a decent run in the Europa League. Because see if we, like, I know it is a bit optimistic, but see if we did get like quarterfinals or even semis. That's probably pushing it a bit, right? But I'd prefer that than
fuck it, we're on the road to Leon.
No, but like see for like the last 16 in the Champions League, that's going to give us a lot more money to improve than even if we get to like the quarterfinals.
But then again, last 16 in the Champions League, would you rather last 16 in the Champions League or the quarterfinals of Europa League? Well, I'm not saying we would get there, but would you?
I would.
In terms of a season, I'd prefer Europa League, but
see, that's
for improvement. Like
when you say that, though, Keelan, it's like I would go for quarterfinals of Europa League just to put it out there, but at the same time, I can already imagine the heartbreak of getting knocked out in the quarterfinals, because at that point I'd be saying to myself, right, this is it, we're going the whole way. You're going the whole way. And then
serious when you get to that sort of stage, you think, right, that this could be a year. But that's the thing, Europa League, like, I feel the quality of the teams in it is like, every year now, it's because of how good the teams in England have got. There's always going to be a team, like, a couple of teams missing it on the top 4. And there's always going to be a team of good quality for England that are going to be in Europa League this time. Like years ago, it would have been like Everton.
What are the big teams in the Europa League this year? Hold on.
Arsenal.
AC Milan have got to qualify still, but AC Milan, I'm guessing will get there.
Qualify
Ajax will get there.
And
I mean, Ajax got to, like, this time, like, if we were to draw Ajax in 2013, I'd be saying to myself, we could put them out, but this year would be like, I mean, they got to the final last year.
Wait, did Ajax get Rosenborg?
Different class now.
Aye.
I did not know that. I would like to see Rosenborg.
Wait, what did you say?
Ajax get Rosenborg?
Did not know that.
I don't know, I'm looking at it.
But Callum, if you were to say, sorry, I'm going to go, David.
I wasn't even speaking, but anyway, see if we go.
Alright, I wasn't speaking, but anyway, on you go.
I wasn't speaking, but since you've invited us
here,
I think it depends what run we get in Europa League, because see if we got a similar thing to what Man United got. I'm not bashing Man United, I'm just saying they got the easiest run. Yeah, Europa League.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
I know, because
apart from teams like Ajax and
no, but like, see if Celtic got handed that though, like, would you fancy your chances? Like, if Celtic got handed Celta Vigo, Celta Vigo later on, but Vigo have improved.
See if we were on good form again, like, see if you handed us Celta Vigo now, you'd be a bit more worried, but see if you gave us them last season when we were like a good way through the season unbeaten. I
would definitely be sitting there fancying my chances. I think I'd reevaluate at this point, but
obviously. But I mean, if we're halfway through the season, but I know it's Scottish. I know it's the Scottish League, and everybody's granny could come up here and score. But I mean, if we're actual banging, playing heavy good.
See, I think the only thing that separates Celtic from progressing in Europe is see if we go to that knockout round, I think a really good home performance and a solid defensive performance away from home, that could see us through against a lot of teams.
See, I was going to come on to Calm because I feel like you've been sitting in the back burners for a wee bit here. I was going to come and ask, like, see, against Astana, do you think it would be risky for us to go at guns blazing? How do you see Astana playing first? Do you think they're going to cut to Parkhead defend, or do you think we should be leery?
They're going to come. I think they're just going to come here and just
play their game.
I think they'll just try and defend. Well, they'll defend, but like sit a bit deeper and just soak up the pressure, and then try and get us in the counter.
I think that's how they're going to play as well. But
see Rosenborg even away from there. See for like the first 60 minutes, they were really defensive. Like even away, and then it was when they started pushing a lot more. Celtic got the opportunities.
See, I think the only thing that would worry me is see if in the home tie the nightmare result would have been not even a nut each draw, but a 1 each draw, because then they've got their away goal, and we've not been able to beat them at home.
Aye.
But then again, it's odd to how Celtic play, because Celtic could go and bash them. I would say 5-2, but hopefully no conceding.
It feels like I just hope what doesn't happen again is another 90th minute penalty with a cunt falling 4 rows down, bang, right beside us.
That round is cost for us, man.
Aye, I don't like that round at all. But if I was like, we'll quickly move on to a prediction just to move away from the Astana stuff because we've hit about 25 minutes or something here. So Astana, do we see us getting through Europa League or Champions League? Callum, Europa League, Champions League. Where do you think we're going?
Champions League.
Kieran.
But I think the tie against Astana will be very, very, very close.
By any chance, do you think we'll be getting that ABBA type penalty shootout?
Kill yourself.
I don't think that applies for the.
Oh, is that no in European?
I think it's just in the English Cups and that this year.
Right.
It's just getting trialled.
Do you think Champions League, Europa League?
Champions League because I've got belief, but even though I always see Celtic as the underdogs regardless who are playing in these sort of rounds, but I do believe we can go through. So I'd say Champions League.
Well, definitely good enough.
David, Paul, do you think you're the same boat?
Champions League. We've got much better players, and the only worry is to travel into Kazakhstan.
There was one thing that was brought up in the press conference I was watching when we were just drawn, and I think it was interviewing like Lee Griffiths. Who was saying, does it help that they've already travelled there? They know what to expect. Like, I think that will come into some sort. I think they'll be more prepared mentally, physically, whatever, for this actual this away leg this time.
Because it's not going to be completely foreign to them because they've experienced it before.
And it's not like it was like 5 years ago. It was last year.
Last year.
But David, do you think we're going to get through?
I think we'll get the Champions League.
I think it's the only reason I really asked is because I did, and even when we were playing Rosenborg, I seen people in my comments, Celtic fans in the comments were saying like, no, I don't think we're going to even get through Rosenborg.
See, I was really sceptical about Rosenborg because I knew they were decent. Like, I think people were writing them off. Like, see the same way people wrote off Gladbach last year when we were playing at home as if we should be beating them easy days. Like, we probably should have beat Rosenborg a bit with a few more goals, but I mean,
because like it was all 1-0. So
I think the lack of the striker made that round a lot more difficult than it had to be. But gone into it, I was a lot more sceptical.
Right, quickly moving on to the next thing. I don't know how long we'll end up talking about this. Stuart Armstrong, should he stay? Should he go? What's the whole business here happening? Anybody want to volunteer? Calum, you want to volunteer? Do you want to? What you say he should stay, right? Of course, I would happily love to see him stay. But at this point, it feels like, I don't know, to me, just personally, I feel like he's taking the piss. I feel like this contract it's no difficult. We should know if his agent's like, we want this, Celtic should be saying, right, we can give you or we can't give you, one of the two, and if we can't give him it, he should have been gone by now, or at least somewhat. I should be seeing a rumour that somebody's in for him. I don't know what's taking so long, but I feel like he is taking the piss a wee bit here.
I feel like obviously you'd want to see him stay because he's one of our better players, but see, like, obviously, see if he doesn't sign the contract. Like, next year, somebody's going to get him on a free. Do you know what I mean? Like,
aye, exactly. Can he lose that money?
Get rid of him
because
and get money for him.
What is it like in West Brom already to offer, like, was that like 5 million or something like that? I don't know. West Brom were offering some form of money, and I mean that is most like to a team like Chelsea, Man United, that's fuck all, right? We'll just let him go for free. We'll keep him there every year. But to Celtic, that is massive money.
Good money.
That is
good
massive.
money, and we need it. Paul, Stuart Armstrong, what is your opinion on the whole situation and in general? Like, I know obviously you'll probably prefer to see him stay, but what in general is your opinion and stuff for now?
Like, obviously I'd like to see him stay, but do we see that with the centre mids we've got now?
Aye, that's what I was going
Do we
with.
really need him desperately? Because we've got McGregor, Brown, Rogic, we've got all these brilliant centre mids.
I feel like a lot of
It's
people
so
are about to get
desperate we
into.
need him.
I feel like a lot of people will be saying like, wait, because see on it, like McGregor for me, McGregor and then like so far for the games we've seen, and obviously it's not a lot and it's hard to judge, but so far what we've seen McGregor and Cham and Brown as one of the three. We've seen Armstrong, Brown, and then Cham. We've seen all these different combinations, but the main combinations that we've seen so far, I think without Armstrong, we've been the better team so far. And I love Stuart Armstrong. I think he's a great player. But for me, just for the first few games, and it's not a lot to judge by, and that's why I'm not really caring too much. But so far, I think it looks as though without do you think this season, Kieran, I'll move on to you, Kieran or David, one or two. Kieran, do you think Armstrong does want to go? Because for me, he's not had a decent performance in any of the qualifiers or anything like that yet.
Do you want to go or will I go?
I'll go down it, but see, you've got to think, like, there's many factors in this. If he wants to stay, but his agent is the one pushing for more money, and he's just hiding behind his agent in this situation, he might not want to leave Celtic, but his agent's pushing for it.
Aye, I can see what you mean, because it happens a lot.
Because
Aye.
then you've got to think, is Brendan Rodgers expecting him to leave? Because Cham wasn't brought in for no reason. Because we've already got central midfielders. Is he the
Because he's brought in Benyu as well. Like, when you put it that way, I think they've kept quiet in a lot, and Brendan Rodgers keeps rehashing that we hope he signs the contract soon. David, do you think like, all along Brendan Rodgers is new? He's gone. He's just trying to hide it for the fans for a while.
I'm not sure because I don't know if Brendan Rodgers is somebody who would kind of not be up front about it. But see, if you went last year, Armstrong was a pure key part because it was so spontaneous. It wasn't scared to shoot. He scored a few long shots.
I said it time and sorry, I'm going to jump in just for a second. You can continue because I said it time and time again on the channel. Like, especially towards the tail end of last year, when it came to everything, defending, attacking, passing, I thought he was our best player when you put everything together. Like, not just one thing. I thought he could do the lot. That was just my opinion. You go, keep going, dude.
See, even like last year, he was so good at his passing. He created so many opportunities. Like, I know people stole the line, like Sinclair and that, but he actually did so much. But see, like pre-season and qualifiers, he's just looked no interested at all. And I understand it's still early. And same with Rogic a wee bit. Like the last few games Rogic have played, he's been fucking shite. See, even Rosenberg.
Aye.
The one, and even Brown as well. I'm sure Brown was just a one-off game. See, Brown, Armstrong, and Rogic.
Aye.
They actually done nothing.
Aye. That's what I'm saying. Aye. We like the
he lost the
combinations.
ball, then they run back. And it wasn't until Hayes lost the ball as well, and he ran back and got it, you seen that Brown wasn't doing it, and Armstrong wasn't doing it, and Rogic wasn't doing it. And
Aye. That's what I'm saying. I think like, the determination, the what was it, Linfield game you were talking about? No, was it not Linfield? Rosenborg, was it? Rosenborg.
Was this the first leg?
Aye, the one that you...
Then you've got to think they're playing another system that game. Like, they're only playing the way they normally play, so...
there's always different aspects you can look for.
You just see, like, I know it's not as if he's had an awful pre-season, right? But and I know it is still pre-season and people still get about it's not anymore. Like, but I mean,
we're in the season now, but basically just at pre-season.
He's just no looked.
See, then he's looked a bit disinterested this season. That's what he does. But then you've got to remember, like, he's not hit his stride yet. But then again, last year, granted, he never got the same sort of game time that he's been getting this season. But he never hit his stride until October. It was the semi-final against Rangers in the League Cup, in which we thought, right, he can.
Yeah, he should be starting games. That was when you thought it.
But then again, you've got to think: is he really getting a bit ahead of himself here? Thinking he's had one good season, like one proper full good season with Celtic. Is he ready to go and play in the Premier League yet?
I don't think he's ready.
I don't think he's ready, but that was the thing I was going to talk about just after you were done there. I was going to say, like, I don't want to say I find it insulting, but I don't know, it's just something about me that, and obviously it's different, and I say it as well, it's different when you're getting waved triple your wages in your face, but, like, I don't know why, I just can't imagine the attraction for moving for Celtic to such a negative team like West Brom, who are never going to be in any sort of European football, who
Ever.
are just the time and time again you're talking about West Brom potentially going down. Last season they had a strong season, but they weren't playing. I don't think Armstrong would fit into that team.
I just think, just because Armstrong is so good, he is worth taking the kind of risk and keeping him, even if it doesn't work out, because he is amazing. But
I take a different look. I think I don't see that. See if he's not got this, and I've said it week in week. If he's not got it signed by at least like the week
January.
before, because January could just sign a pre-contract. If he's not got it signed a week before the deadline, get him with the transfer market and get him going. That's my opinion. You said you want to keep him, and I respect that today, but my opinion is take the money.
Callum McGregor has been amazing, right?
Best central midfielder in the club without a doubt right now at the current minute.
I know he is, but like, Armstrong's just got something that. Like, Rogic has it obviously as well, but he just gets... or Rogic as well. Like, Rogic's a bit bigger and Armstrong a bit clunkier, but he's just got something that... Like, McGregor's been amazing, but you just don't... Like, see if you were to put, like, somebody on in the last 10 minutes of a game to change it, you'd probably put Armstrong on. Like, if you were more attacking.
I think Ncham's here to replace that, because I think Ncham offers something a bit more different. He might not have shown it yet, but I feel as though that's why he's here to take Armstrong's place.
But for me as well, see if Armstrong goes to West Brom, I don't know if anybody's agreeing with me, but I just see him turning into like James Morrison or somebody like that. He's just going to be so irrelevant.
He's a good player when it's free flowing, attacking. I wouldn't see what he would offer to West Brom, because it's not as if they're going to be...
West Brom's system is just so keep the other team out.
Aye.
And then take your chances when you get them.
Right, so we know David said he'd keep him.
I'm keeping him. I think he's good to let go. He makes a difference.
Paul, what would you do if he's not? We'll just put into the scenario. We're on the 25th August. Say 25th August. Contract's still been signed. What do you do? Are you keeping them? Are you taking the gamble, just keeping them the year, and by luck he might stay, or are you selling them for the money?
I'd get the money, because it's not that we desperately need them. We've got centre mids that can do just as well as Job.
How much
maybe
money
not Europe in the league.
How much money are you talking?
Because he's in the final year of his contract, you can't expect too much.
That's why I would think about maybe like 3 million.
Is a decent amount.
I think it would be about 3.5.
See, I understand 5 million is a lot for everybody, especially Celtic, but we are in obviously we're in probably one of the best financial states we've been in, and a player like Armstrong who can make a difference is a risk I think is willing to take.
See, then again, you think we don't need to be a selling club, but in the instance where we're going to let one of our best players go for nothing, then you've got to think, right, you're alright with selling him on.
Callum, I think like you on would you same scenario 25th August, would you keep or sell? Who convinces you now? Because I know you. Like, I've always, when we were on Xbox or whatever, you're always one of the people who you like Armstrong. I know that. Like you're a big fan of Armstrong, but like if it's coming, would you be in David's shoes or more like my shoes here?
See, if I'm honest, obviously you'd love to keep him, but if you can't just like 5 million. If it is 5 million, just say it is for the now, just for talk's sake. You can't just let that go. You'd rather have the 5 million than let him go on a free. Do you know what I mean? So I'd probably just sell him.
See if he is going to play that season, he isn't going to sign the contract, but he's going to have the same season as last season. Are you going to keep him, and he's going to help in Champions League?
Well, then again, but like
if he's going to sit on the bench,
last season, then that's not really much.
If he's going to sit on the bench for a fight, then obviously get rid of him, get the money. Like we can bring in another player. But if he's going to be a key part of the season, then I would let him stay. If he's going to be another key member of the team.
I can see both sides of the argument, but you can't just see money like that. You can't just let it pass.
Just quickly before Kieran goes on, this is why I wanted to make like this kind of podcast. Like, for example, if this was me just talking myself, I'd be going right and sell him. But we're getting different opinions. Just want to make that point clear. Let me know your opinion, but people listening, by the way. But Kieran, on you go. You guys say something.
Personally, I'd sell him because, I mean, as much as I love him, he's more than capable of going missing in big games. See, if you look back at the game away from home in Mönchengladbach, he was non-existent. He absolutely balled it.
I can remember a few times.
See, if that is the case, then would you also sell Sinclair? Because Sinclair, he was best player of the season last year, but let Hans down. But how many games has he went missing? Like, big games, like even in the 5-1 against Rangers, right? And he was good. But the amount of chances he missed against Rosenborg. See the people who said, I like Scott Sinclair. It does annoy me sometimes because he's so good and he goes missing in games. and pops up and then gets like praised for it. But see against Rosenborg, people just see the amount of people who say they had some performance against Rosenborg. He was good defensively.
It was balls. I never seen him get going forward.
He was good defensively. We've got a defence. We've got a midfield.
But it's like that's the same sort of thing here. You'd say that I understand that, like he did set up the goal, but it's the same kind of thing as people. James Forrest scored a goal.
I know. So it's James Forrest. I like. I don't mind James Forrest.
Well, we'll probably go
I'd sell him in a heartbeat, man. I'd sell him in a heartbeat.
I don't think he gets so much hate. Like he isn't good. He isn't as good as Roberts, right? And he's always going to get compared to Roberts. But I think people maybe need to lay off him a wee bit.
Right.
See, like.
I'd rather see Hayes start.
That's the thing. Hayes just needs to break into the team and get a solid few games in a row. Well, he's not really been getting the chance. He's even started that many games.
And plus, see,
it's not even started yet.
I think he started one.
Playing like striker as well, like because obviously.
He started Linfield away. Did I know his?
No.
He was brought in.
Rosenborg
away. Aye, so it was Rosenborg away.
And then he get brought off, and then Ryan Guber sitting saying get Forrest off, and then.
Look,
I'm not
going to take that decision.
Like, see, you've got to look at against Rosenborg. Nobody played well.
I don't
take anybody off.
Performances in the first leg. I remember saying Gordon, great performance. The second leg, I don't really remember a standout performer.
Griffiths was good because he did change the game when he came on.
I suppose.
Griffiths this season's been a different class.
I know.
Some will come on to it probably. We'll not go too much into the Griffiths striker.
See, the only thing I say about Forrest before we hang me, the only thing that annoys me is he shites himself again for tackles, and he always tries to spit outside the fit.
The other thing with Forrest is, as you said, with the outside of the fit thing, but like, because he's really one-fitted in my opinion. But I mean, see what else annoys me? He does shout at tackles and that, but see going forward as well, he just never takes the risk that Roberts would.
He doesn't try and
that could be down to the fans because see if Roberts took on a player and lost the ball, then nobody would really care. But see if Forrest was to take on a player, everybody gets on his back straight away. See if people were a wee bit.
But I feel like you've got to look at it for the same. Like, but David, you're saying that people gave him a chance. He's been in the team for 2012, 2011 now.
I know.
He's had plenty of time for a chance.
In all fairness, just saying the Celtic team is a whole new team since Rodgers. You can't exactly.
But you've got to remember, like before Brendan Rodgers came in, James Forrest, I kept saying, sell him, get rid of him, no use. And then he came in, he had that brief spell under Brendan Rodgers where he was playing consistently week in, week out, he was playing really well. And
he was keeping Roberts at the team.
He was keeping Roberts at the team for like the start of the season. And it's like before that, and I know you're saying it's a new team in that, but you can't just erase the 4 years when he didn't make an impression.
I know, because Forrest, I don't remember the last time Forrest actually tried to go around a player. Like,
I know, but
at least Roberts tried to go around players. So if he messed up, but I always say that tried to do it. Unlike Forrest.
He had that wee spell which was playing well. Like, I know the whole hanging isn't consistent, but see just the fact they had that wee spell, see if Rodgers can just get the most out of that spell, should that not just kind of, if he can keep Roberts at the team for a short period of time, I'm sure Rodgers would
just the start of the season as well, because Roberts was really struggling to get game time.
I'm sure
Forrest was starting Champions League games.
I'm sure Forrest, if he could do that for a spell, I'm sure he could do it for the full season. Look at players like Boyata, who have pure changed. He needs just a wee bit more work, and he won't be a world beater.
I see, because I don't want to go out and deliberately give him all sorts of hate. It's just, he annoys me too much for me to sit back and defend the guy.
Because look at Rosenborg, he scored the goal, then 10 minutes later, he missed an absolute sitter.
See, that's the thing, like, Forrest, as you say, is unfairly treated. I mean, while he doesn't do performances frequently enough to merit a lot of praise, he gets a lot more hate than
don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's like, the best player on the team or anything. Like, if we did sign Roberts and we had his and that, I would say, and we were getting a decent amount of money, then fair enough, let him go. But I feel like, see if it was Roberts who made the mistakes, I don't think he would get as much abuse.
That's the thing though, like, James Forrest became the whipping boy for the hate, like, the Celtic.
I'll agree with that. And I'm not going to say I'm not guilty of doing it as well, but
in my opinion, Forrest, if he just gets his head done and finds consistency, he'll do more than enough this season and merit enough praise for the Celtic sport, because he's capable of having a good season. He just really needs to get his head done and work.
Well, I don't know if anyone's got any final closing words on the Forest situation, or are we free to move on? Anybody got any final words to add in?
Nah.
What nightclub was it he got his knob at?
I don't know. I was in the
We'll
record
leave the
such a
link to
long
that
time.
and
Aye,
we'll leave the link
we'll
to
find
that
it. We'll
in
find
the
the Daily
description.
Record article for like 2011. Then we'll find it. Right, we were going to talk about we've went about 40 minutes now, so we were going
I
to.
think we should run.
We were going to originally talk about the away, like the fan behaviour as we've seen recently, but
I
we'll
think
we'll
that
save
should
that.
maybe be
We'll save that for maybe another one or
next
something.
podcast.
Aye, we'll save that for the next one. We're going to talk about
Or
it.
you
So
can make a part 2 of the podcast, put it up tomorrow.
could do that, I suppose. Could do that.
Oh,
but
but maybe
try
not
and keep
tomorrow. Maybe the next day.
I don't want to.
100
You've got to save it for, you've got to say 100 likes. We'll release it tomorrow. But right, we'll end after. Then I suppose we're just doing what I'm going to probably end after most of the podcast. We've got 2 games this week. God knows how often these podcasts will be. Maybe weekly. Who knows? We'll see. This one's just an experiment. So we've got 2 games to look forward to this week. They've got the prestigious Betfred Cup match tomorrow night against Kilmarnock, and
We'll jump off the seats and down the stairs because the exam results.
Aye, we've got Kilmarnock tomorrow night, and we have got Partick Thistle in the league on Friday. Score predictions, I'll go first. I think for Kilmarnock, it really, I can see us maybe rotating the team a wee bit because we've got we've got a league game on Friday. But even at that, we should be easily disposing. We beat them 6-1 last year at Parkhead, so I'll go 3-0. And away to Partick, they're just off the back of getting beat off Hibs, so I do see us beating them. I don't see us dropping points or anything. I will go with a 2-0 win away to Partick. Paul, Kilmarnock, Partick, your predictions?
For the Mora, I'm going to say 2-0 because I think he's going to play a bit of a weakened team because he's got the game on Friday. And then for Partick, I'm going to say 3-1.
Before I ask David and that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to keep a wee tally of who gets the most right results, and who knows, we'll buy a bottle of champagne for the winner.
One of us is £25 Amazon gift card for mine.
Right, David, Kilmarnock, Partick, score predictions?
I think we'll win comfortably. Like, we will play a weakened team, but then see where if you look in the midfield especially, there isn't much a weaker team. Like, it's not as if our weak team's weak anymore.
Aye, exactly. But you know what I mean, like I do see us rotating.
I don't see us conceding, even though we're a wee bit dodgy still at the back. I would say 3-0, and then.
For fuck's sake.
I'll.
Mine's are probably the exact same as everybody else's, man. I think mine's are actually identical to that.
Do you know what? And then no, I'm kidding. And then Partick, I'll say. I think it'll be a wee bit more difficult, but I'll say 1-0.
1-0. Kieran, yourself?
Well, I was going to say 3-0, like, for the Kilmarnock game, but
Jump a wee bit.
I'll stick with 3-0 because I think we will get a few goals past them. And Kilmarnock, to me, have not looked the strongest this year, especially after, like, in the group stages of the Betfred Cup, they got beat off Ayr.
Aye.
Beat at home off St Johnson. St Johnson are a good team, but I mean, it's still a home game. But
saying that, they did lose in like the 89th minute or something, so
aye.
a wee bit.
I don't think we will concede. We could. They might get a goal, but I think if they get a goal, just go in the counter attacking due
Aye, and we'll already be up.
stupid defensive errors. But
Aye.
we Partick Thistle away. I don't know. Like, part of me thinks 2-0, but I'm going to say 2-1. I think they might get a goal.
Finally,
2-0
Callum,
Celtic.
what you want to go with?
No disrespect to Kilmarnock, ain't that right? But they are absolutely awful. Like, no, like awful, but like
They
I'm not
picked
very
up a
good
wee
at
bit,
all.
to be fair. They picked up a wee bit, when they got rid of. Oh, but they didn't even get rid of him. They lost the manager last year. He went away to wherever the fuck he went to, and then they actually picked up. And they're like, okay, maybe that was for the best. But aye, Callum, what you want to go with?
I'd say about 4-0.
4-0. I thought you were going to go higher. I thought you were going to go about 6.
No.
Well, in the first round last year, who did we have again? Motherwell, we beat them 5-6.
5-0,
aye.
Scott
And,
McDonald missed an absolute sitter. Could have scored for him.
Partick game, Callum.
I'll go. I don't know.
It's not that difficult.
It is.
Taking the tape off.
I'll just say 2-0.
2-0. Right, well, lovely. We've got our score predictions
Yeah,
in.
Ryan, you should really have started this by wee team starting like, right, let's get right into the
Well, who
news.
knows? Eventually, our time we might develop some sort of intro, but
Just put Jake Paul, Nico.
If you started it like that, I would have killed myself. I'd have just left the section.
aye, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you did enjoy the first. It went on a wee bit longer than we intended, but I think it went well. Conversation flowed. I enjoyed it. So I hope you did enjoy it. Let me know what you thought in the description. As I said, airtime. I know the description, the comments. Airtime. We will probably try and up the production value and stuff. Might get camera shit involved, and over time probably will have more people on and stuff like that. So.
Chris Sutton.
Okay, aye, Chris Sutton, he's going to join us, don't worry. Episode 10, special episode.
I think Mark Warburton.
Anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to hit like and subscribe, and hopefully this will be available on other stuff soon, like iTunes and shit, but we'll see. I'll see you next time.
Get ahead of yourself now, Ryan.
Bye.